All right, how we doing, guys? This is going to be a follow-up video to show you how to get the ad tactics menu to display. So this is really the authorization process. Very similar to any of the other tools if you've used those, but if this is your first time, then just follow along with these steps and you should be good. If you haven't watched the previous video that goes over making sure you have the tool saved to the right account when you download it from the members area, make sure you go back and watch that because there is a step here. If you've messed it up, it's going to not work with the authorization. And what you really want to see at this point, if you're using a standard kind of Chrome browser, is you'll have the profile of your Chrome profile up here, and you can see the icon matches here. And then this email, when I hover over this icon from within Ad Tactics, so I'm within the sheet right now, I hover up over here, I can see that that FBA Excel Challenges email is the one that it's saved into, and that means that it's using that Google Drive account right now to store this. So this is the email that I want to store the tools into. If you see a different email there than you anticipated, again, go back and watch the previous video because you messed something up. All right, and then the steps to get things authorized is pretty easy. All we're going to do is follow the kind of sequence here. The first one is we do need to log in to whichever FBA Excel email account that we've signed up with. So that's going to be the one you actually use to access the members area content. When I say members area, I'm referring to, this here. So the email and password is what's needed here. So I'm just going to plug that in. So this could be the exact same as the Google account that you're storing the tools into, or they may be different. So keep that in mind. But in my case, they are the same. So FBA Excel Challenges, Gmail. All right. So first thing is make sure after you enter your password, you actually click out of the cell. So neither the email or the password are active. And by active, I mean you have the cell selected and you've just kind of finished typing and everything's still active here. You want to make sure you click out of that cell. And the other thing is make sure you don't have any errors. Go ahead and just double check everything really close. And it's exactly the same as what you're using to log into the members area. If for some reason you have an issue with this early authorization process, it's likely that you've mistyped the password, you've got a capital letter where there shouldn't be, there's maybe a blank space at the beginning or the end. The other best practice, make sure you do everything with the email in lowercase. So don't have a bunch of capitalizations in the email. Password obviously could have different capitalizations. So just triple check everything before you run through this. All right. So next step is you're going to select your market. And this is pretty similar with all the other tools. And this is just going to be related to the Amazon market that you're selling into. Step 4 is you do need to link your dummy Google account, which I'm referring to the dummy Google account is the one that I'm saving the tools into. You may not have set up a fresh dummy Google account if you already had a free Google account to work with. But in my case, I set up this FBA Excel Challenges dummy account. In the previous video, I saved the tools to that account, and that's kind of the state that this video started in. I had, in my example, the FBA Excel login to the members area was the exact same email. Yours, again, could be two different emails. So in this step, we're actually linking those two together. And all you're going to do is just hover over, this area here and open up this special page. And from here, I highly recommend you actually read this as opposed to just plugging stuff in. And it basically says, make sure you have no leading or trailing spaces. Everything's all lowercase, and you wouldn't believe how many people plug in their email and password again here. I don't want to know your password. Put in the email that you're logging into the members area with here, and then the email that you're storing the tools into for that Google Drive account. So again, in my example, they're the exact same. In yours, they could potentially be different. So just double check everything. Make sure you don't have any leading or trailing spaces. You can just kind of click into the cell and then just make sure that, okay, so there's a good example. Yeah, there's a leading space there. So I'm going to hit the delete backspace key. And that's what you really want to pay attention to. So make sure you don't have it here. Okay, so I have it there. So I'm just going to go like that. All right. And then for the sake of safety, just click outside of there and hit save this account. This step is really important because it's basically telling our system that this is the dummy account that you're going to want to use. All of our authorizations, you can only have one FBA Excel account and then one Google account that gets tied to that. So if you do need add-on accounts, that's kind of how we manage that. But after you plug those in, you're going to get redirected to this page here. This video here is just, again, going to show you how to save the tools if you've kind of bypassed the initial video. And then we're kind of going through the authorization steps here in this video. But the main thing you want to know is this first point. You do need to probably give it a minute or two before you go through the rest of the authorization process. We're just kind of doing the stuff in the background automatically to make sure all your accounts tied together correctly. And as long as you've put the information in correctly, everything should work fine. It's when users get into going too fast and they mistype something like I almost did there. So just make sure you go slow and make sure everything's correct, and you should be good. But after that, all you're going to do is come back into the tool here. You're going to just do step 5, click the green authorization button. One thing to note, the very first time that you run this, you are going to have to grant permissions to the tool. And at this point, you pretty much own the tool. We can't see any of your data unless you share it with us at some point using the share button in the upper right. But nobody can see your data. You own the tool. And this step right here is you're basically telling Google that you want access to run scripts within your kind of profile. So the other reason we like the free dummy accounts that you can set up is it doesn't have any of your personal data right in the Drive account. And some of these scripts do need access to your Drive account. Again, why we really highly recommend you just create a dummy account, and then it just keeps everything organized and simple. So from here, you're just going to click continue. And again, this is a one-time thing. In future sessions, when you're using this, you're not going to have to do this step. And you should, if you've correctly logged in to the email account per the previous video, you should just see your email pop up here because you're already logged in, and it'll match the email that you wanted to store the tools into. If it not, you need to honestly go back and watch the first video because you've bypassed some steps there that are going to probably screw you up. So I'm going to click email there, and you're just going to scroll down, and you're going to hit advanced, and you're going to click go to ad tactics. All right, and then you're going to click allow. All right, you should see an authorization successful, and it's going to disappear here in a second. All right, so last step is you do need to click authorize a second time, and that's just going to kind of confirm everything that you've set up here, and you should see the ad tactics menu display if you've done everything correctly. All right, so there you go. You can see the ad tactics menu showed up. We've got the FBA Excel assistant here that pops up. Just wait for that to load because there is some really important information that you should kind of get accustomed to when you first get started with the tool. It does take a few seconds on the first load kind of to get everything. All right, and it'll default to this what's new, and you can actually scroll down and just learn anything that is really important about kind of the newest version that you're in. This first screenshot here is a really common issue that I'll just highlight in this video as well. And it's related to this sponsored products guidance option that they added. And you'll see it's pointed here. Do not check that box. It slows everything way down within ad tactics. So you just want to make sure you essentially read all the prompts at least the first time when you're going through the tool, because some of them are really important. If you just randomly click OK, you're going to miss some things. So this one's really important. Just make sure you don't check that guidance for sponsored products when you're actually downloading the bulk file. That'll be covered in some of the additional training here that you're going to be going over, but just wanted to mention that. All right, and then last thing is now that we have the menu up here, we're ready to start using the tool, but you'll notice if I refresh the tool, well, the menu's gone again, and that's because you do need to click the authorization button with any new kind of refresh or new session. You can see here in red after onboarding, click the authorization button before each daily use. That means you do need to click it as kind of your first step before you start using the tool, and that's going to display the menus. So I can just click this again. You'll notice I don't have to grant permissions again like we did through this first step. It's just a process you have to do to just reconfirm your account is active, and it just takes a few seconds here, and then once the menu's up, you're good to go. You can just start using it for the day. So there you go. You're going to get the prompt here again for the assistant. And if you ever want to display the assistant, you can click on this What's New button, or under Help, you can launch the assistant in a couple different ways there. That has all the training, all the SOPs in the app that you can use, and then you've got all the training and SOPs in the members area as well. So hopefully this video made sense. There is a few error prompts that if you do the authorization stuff wrong, it's going to prompt you on which steps to take to try to rectify those. But if you go back and watch the first video of saving the tools and then this video, you shouldn't have any issues as long as you do those steps in order and correctly. So hopefully that makes sense. If not, reach out to support and we'll help you out. See ya.